I'm Lisa Campbell, Director of the Barry Center for the Arts. Welcome to another edition of Bringing Home Barry. Today, we're launching a series in collaboration with the Ramapo College Roukema Center for International Education. In this video, I am joined by the staff for an overview of the programs and services provided by the center. So I'm excited to be here today with the team from the Roukema Center at Ramapo College, and we're going to start out. I'm going to ask everybody to introduce themselves.
My name is Ben Levy. I'm the director of the center.
My name is Catherine Lamana, and I am the Assistant Director of International Education.
Hello, my name is Rajay Sadikari. I'm the Associate Director for International Student and Scholar Services, and I'm also the primary designated school officer and work with all the immigration matters for the college.
My name is Izumi Osaminevich. I'm a program assistant.
So Ben, why don't you start out and talk to us about what is the role of the Roukema Center for International Education?
Sure. The Roukema Center for International Education is the centralized unit at the college responsible for managing the international pillar of the institution. And I would say we have about four main responsibilities. One is international programs, which includes our study abroad, internships abroad, research abroad experiences, our international student and scholar support services. We also manage the international risk for the institution, as well as internationalization.
So what exactly is internationalization?
Internationalization is a process, and it's a process in higher education where we look at how to integrate every aspect of our responsibilities as an institution of higher education, whether that's curriculum, whether it's student support, whether it's our policies and structure, as well as our programs. Many people view international education solely in mobility of individuals, whether those are international students or study abroad, but it's gone much beyond that in the last 20 years. And at Ramapo College, we really look at this from a comprehensive lens to make sure that every corner of the institution does have some global or international aspect, or has at least been considered.
What types of activities is the Roukema Center involved with?
We have our hands in many different areas of the institution. The Roukema Center sits in the Division of Academic Affairs. So we sit underneath the provost or the chief academic officer. So really we lead first with academics, as well as everything that surrounds that. So a couple of areas that I would mention that the Roukema Center is involved with is developing strategic partnerships. So those could be not just overseas partners, universities, organizations, institutions, but it could also be local organizations that have a global focus. Also internationalizing our campus activities. So we work really closely with the Office of Student Activities, with the Barry Center, with the library, with a number of different departments to think about how to bring more global content into all the different activities that are available to students. We also work with faculty, looking at our campus curriculum to see where can we bring in some more global content, because we really want to make sure that every student who graduates from Ramapo College has an opportunity to engage with the world. We also deliver support services to our international students and our visiting scholars. So those could be folks that are here for just 1 week, all the way through to a full degree, and we provide a whole range of support services to them. We also analyze global risk and develop associated mitigation plans, emergency plans, trainings, orientations, because we want to make sure that anybody that goes out into the world, whether those are students or employees, do so safely and they feel well supported. And then finally, we oversee all of the mobility experiences, so study, research, and internships abroad. And we have a very robust catalog of opportunities for students of any major that can go out in the world and engage with their topics of interest and with the cultures in those countries.
So I'm curious, Ben, how has COVID impacted the work that you're trying to do right now, you and your team?
Certainly. I would probably split this impact into three different areas because of the wide range of responsibilities that the Roukema Center is involved with. First, and probably the most obvious, with our study abroad opportunities, the fact that it is more challenging to travel. We were the unit on campus that was first hit with the pandemic because, of course, we had students overseas in places, in countries where it was being impacted before it actually hit the US. So we did have to evacuate a number of students back to the US, ensure their academic continuity, ensure that they were able to return safely, timely, all of that, as well as looking at sort of moving on to the future, making sure that we're supporting students who are still interested in studying abroad to go to countries and to programs that have infrastructure in place to best support them while the pandemic continues to occur. The other area that I would say is with our international students. We have, of course, every year we have new students entering the Ramapo class who are international students, and the new first-year international students, unfortunately, the majority of them have had to remain in their home countries and begin their Ramapo experiences in their homes, having never stepped foot into the United States. So it's been an interesting experience for them, and also had us really think more creatively about how do you engage this new group of students? How do you introduce the U.S. culture, U.S. higher education system? What is it like to be in a classroom in the U.S. when they've never actually stepped physically into that type of environment? So it's been a really interesting experience, and the students I applaud for their resilience, their openness. We have regular meetings with them virtually and to check in and make sure that they're doing well, and they've been remarkable. And then thirdly is looking at our curriculum. And I think one opportunity that this reality has presented is really thinking creatively about how to bring in more global content into the curriculum. So we've had a number of really interesting guest lectures in our campus classes because, again, there's no borders, there's no need to travel, and everyone's more accustomed to this technology. So we've been able to bring in some more guest speakers into classes, and it's been quite remarkable. In the spring 2021 semester, we have a series called Ramapo's Global Talks, where we're going to be bringing in as well a number of remarkable speakers available to the campus community to really understand more about the world, about different issues, as well as how COVID is impacting different areas of the world.
That's great. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Me llaman el monochito, yo no soy un compadrón, sé tanguear como el mejor.
Kate, thanks so much for joining us. So talk to me about what types of opportunities are available for students.
Sure. So here at Ramapo, we offer around about 500 different study abroad programs in a little over 60 countries. So there's certainly a lot of geographic diversity, as well as just the number of programs that give students a little bit more flexibility. If they want to do a semester, we have those options. If they want to do a short-term program, maybe they're more comfortable with, going over winter break. spring break or in the summer session, we have a lot of diversity of programs to give them the flexibility they need to be able to graduate on time. We have around 6 main core programs. We have faculty-led programs. That's kind of our home base. So with faculty-led programs, that's when a Ramapo professor leads a group of Ramapo students on a program that's related to a specific Ramapo course. And we have a number of those programs in all different continents around the world and all different majors. Recently, within the past 2 years, we also developed what we call Global Field Experience. And this is an option that's actually open to freshmen. All the other programs that we offer are for sophomores, juniors, and seniors. But Global Field Experience is a 2-credit option that is available for freshmen to apply and to participate in those programs, and mostly takes place over breaks, winter break, spring break, or during the summer session. So that's a really good option for students who come in to Ramapo and want to study abroad right away. We also have what we call exchange programs, and those are semester-based programs where a student attends another institution that we're partnered with, and then that institution sends us students as well. So we kind of have a little swap of students so that we get that internationalization and a little bit diversity here on campus, and then also on the campus that they attend. We also participate in a program called the National Student Exchange, and this is a domestic program, so it's within the US, Canada, the US Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, and Guam. So for students who maybe want to stick a little bit closer to home or just are more interested in that particular region of the world, we have those options for students. And then we also have direct enroll programs, and that's when we have a direct partnership, again, with the university overseas. And then finally, we work with a wide range of providers that kind of help facilitate the experience for students. And that's kind of where the breadth of our program comes in with the locations and the numbers, and they provide a lot of support for our students, so that's really helpful.
What are the most popular countries, and which majors participate more?
I would say our top 3 countries from 2019 were China, Ghana, and South Korea. China and Ghana are the top because we have a lot of faculty-led programs to those locations. So we send larger numbers of students to those locations. And the top majors would be business administration, social work, and nursing. Social work and nursing has a lot of homegrown faculty-led programs. So again, we send a larger number of students from those areas.
Do you find, are there myths that sort of need to be addressed about international education?
Yes. A lot of students think 3 things when it comes to myths. One is that all study abroad is just too expensive. I can't afford it. That's the first myth. The second myth is, well, I don't speak the language of that country, so I can't go there. And then the third myth is, I'm in a difficult major, so I'm just not able to fit in a study abroad experience. So those are the 3 myths, and I like to debunk them, as soon as possible. So for the first, not all programs are, expensive. We work with many different organizations where programs are actually equal to around post-semester costs or even less expensive. But if a semester cost in general is just not something that's in, their financial wheelhouse, that's why we also offer the winter break, spring break, and summer programs. It's a shorter period of time. It's a less amount of credits. So overall, the cost becomes, a little bit more manageable for students. We also work with financial aid for students who go abroad for the semester to try to, make sure they have the best package, possible. And we also have a number of scholarships that students can apply to kind of help offset the cost to make it more affordable for them. The second myth, I don't speak the home country language. I would say about 90% of our programs are English instructed and do not have a language requirement. We do have a number of programs that do have a language requirement, but we would certainly discuss that in advisement process. But a majority of the programs are English instructed. They can take the language in the host country if they're interested in it. They want to go to Italy, they can take beginner Italian and learn, some of the basics. but it's certainly not a requirement for the majority of the programs. And the third myth being that, I'm a nursing major, for example, and, well, there's just no options for me, or, just insert any major into that phrase. But we have programs available for any major, any minor. It's just really important that students plan ahead, because certain majors, if they want to go for a full semester, they need to go a certain year of their 4-year plan, or students need to fit it in maybe into a summer session, a winter break, or a spring break. So there's an option for everyone, but you need to plan at least a year in advance. We definitely encourage students to start planning as early as their first year or sophomore year, so that they're on the right track.
So I had asked Ben about the impact that you were seeing as a result of COVID-19 on your operations overall. Do you have any additional thoughts about how that's impacted individual student health and safety?
As Ben said, we had to recall all our spring students who were away already for the semester. And then we did also have to cancel our summer programs. And then fall semester, we did have a student who still opted to participate. So it certainly has affected, our numbers. And but a lot of that has to do with what borders were closed at the time and which programs were canceled just because of the risk in the country, and we want our students to be safe and healthy. So, if we have to wait another semester before we can, be back in the swing of things, just ask them to be patient, and hopefully come summer 2021 and fall 2021, we can be sending our students safely overseas.
So give us an idea, how many students participate in this program each year?
I would say, during our last full academic cycle, we're looking at somewhere between 150 and 200 students per year. We are increasing, year to year, which is great news, but we can always be encouraging and supporting more students. So we do our best to get the word out and let them know, again, debunking those myths that I mentioned, and getting faculty on board and supporting their students to participate and get those experiences.
You're welcome here. Ramapo 大学でお待ちしてます。
Come to Ramapo College. Tapaiलाई Ramapo College ma swagat cha.
Hi everyone, you are welcome here at United States. तपाईलाई सबैजनालाई अमेरिकामा पढ्नको लागि स्वागत छ.
You're welcome here. तिमीलाई स्वागत छ.
You are very welcome here.
You're welcome here.
You are welcome here.
You want to do it in Swedish?
Okay. Du är välkommen här.
You are welcome here. We can't wait to see you.
You are welcome here.
You're welcome here.
So Izumi and Raj, thank you for joining and talking a little bit more about the programs of the Roukema Center. Izumi, tell us, how many countries and where do our international students come from?
Okay, so for fall 2020 semester, we have students from 19 countries, and the top 3 countries are Nepal, Bulgaria, and Burma.
Raj, why is it important, do you think, for U.S. higher education institutions to welcome international students?
Well, in today's globalized economy, academic and social interaction with students from around the world can provide our students with real educational and career benefits. Learning and living alongside people from around the globe definitely helps our students to better understand some of the international issues, such as foreign affairs, immigration matters. So it provides an opportunity for unique cross-cultural experiences as well, whether celebrating new holidays, sampling new cuisines, or traveling to visit a friend in their home countries. It opens them to a wonderful personal and professional connections that will benefit them throughout their careers. The other factor also is the economy. I mean, international students also help our economy thrive. According to NAFSA, the Association of International Educators, all U.S. colleges and universities contributed close to $41 billion to our national economy and supported more than 450,000 jobs in 2019.
So in what ways do we recruit international students?
Mostly it's word of mouth. We don't use any professional recruiters, but some of us do travel and try to do some in-person recruitment. We work with our Educational USA partners across the globe, and we also target the school counselors. We can get their contact information, so we try to connect through them.
So is the application process, is that different for international students?
Application process for international and domestic students is pretty much the same. However, the only difference is that they will have to provide their score of their English proficiency test, and they would also have to provide us with their financial support documents. Those are the only two differences.
So I love everything about international education. It's my passion, and I'm really happy to be working in this field and contributing to the Ramapo community. I myself was an international student back in the days and had the study abroad program. So I wanted to share the experience with others and connect the experience and help students. So I'm really happy to be here.
I came to this country as an international student. So, that's what my passion is all about, helping you students to succeed here at Ramapo. And we really look forward to having you here.
I studied abroad when I was an undergraduate. I lived and worked, did an internship in Dublin, Ireland. So I am passionate about helping students find opportunities that are really going to help them excel. And I want to have students thinking about the future. Students should be planning at least a year in advance. So hopefully by then COVID will be a thing of the past. So if students are interested in finding out their opportunities and want to think long-term, definitely reach out to me. I'm happy to meet with you virtually while we continue to navigate this pandemic. But I am hopeful and eager to think about the future and help you plan your next steps.
So I too had an international experience when I was younger. The first time when I was 16, I did a semester of high school overseas and then studied abroad again during my undergraduate, as well as did a few years of working overseas in professional capacities. So international education, of course, is a passion of mine as well. And as a first generation college student, it was also really important to me to really explore issues of access and diversity in the opportunities that we do provide to our community. And the Roukema Center is here with a diverse portfolio of different international activities and opportunities, and we encourage everybody, students, faculty, staff, to reach out to us if you're interested in exploring any of those potential collaborations. Maybe you have some creative ideas that you want to explore with us, or just come in and have a conversation and a cup of tea or some international snacks. Join some of our experiences. On our website, we have a plethora of information, an event calendar. We have lots of resources for post-graduation, a variety of different resources and information. So come visit us virtually or in person, and we're happy to engage with you and the world.
Thanks to Ben Levy and his team from the Ramapo College Roukema Center for today's conversation. Look for upcoming videos where we'll meet some of our students and hear about their experiences. Thanks for watching.